Logs, same as alerts, are only worth anything if humans are actually receiving them, reading them, and analyzing them. Dumping a lot of information into a Slack channel over the Slack API is usually not the best way to run analytics on this and to query those logs effectively. Yes, Slack has a search feature, but it's not, it's not commonly used. It is not commonly what the industry. Sending certain alerts based on metrics or logs or metrics generated out of logs into Slack, basically as a way to page your engineers or to raise and bubble up an issue, is something that is feasible on the other end. But for this, you need one step before. You don't want to send probably all alerts, all log lines, probably not even all error logs that your applications are producing directly into Slack. You want to have some advanced logic for routing and processing in between. There's many tools and approaches how to do this. If you have a lot of log, like first of all, CloudWatch, AWS's batteries included solution for log management and metrics collection, gives you a great toolkit to start with here. You can use CloudWatch and then set up CloudWatch alarms with AWS container insights. You even get basically a turnkey package for observability for EKS. Once you have figured out what you want to alert on, you can define CloudWatch alarms and then send those alarms into your Slack channel, for example. You can also generate metrics based on log lines coming in, error rates, whatever you want to basically interpret in your logs, and then trigger alerts based on this and send them to Slack. There's a lot of tools, so you can basically build this stack out as far as you want. The next step up the ladder would probably be looking into the Prometheus ecosystem for metrics. AWS has a managed Prometheus product that gives you a more powerful API for querying and for ingestion than CloudWatch does. There is the Alert Manager, a component in the Prometheus ecosystem that allows you to implement routing logic, which team should get paged for which service and so on. So the simplest way to start that I would encourage users to look into would probably be to start with CloudWatch. If this doesn't fulfill their needs for metrics, then they can take a look at the managed Prometheus service. If this still doesn't fulfill what they need to do or is too expensive, then they can look into self-hosting a Prometheus instance, for example, setting up Alert Manager, setting up advanced tooling. There is all sorts of fancy tooling for this nowadays. But yeah, to summarize, I would probably not send logs into Slack. I would send alerts into Slack based on something that is in the logs. An increased error rate, a certain thing that I want to alert on, a transaction failing, or metrics that exceed a certain threshold and then trigger an alarm. Those should trigger an alert going to Slack.